everybody. It's your girl, Michelle. We are so excited to be here today. We are kicking off our new season with our new title. So, you're still going to see some of the information from Real Talk with Michelle. But look out, world, because here comes the Unapologetically Michelle show. And in this show, we're going to be celebrating people for being fabulous, gorgeous, talented, and beautiful. And so, it's every individual's opportunity to share the stream and invite other people to come into the conversation. Feel free to ask any questions. If you have questions, they will definitely come up, and I'm sure Charbria and myself will be more than happy to answer those questions. Share, and then be sure to go over to the Real Talk with Michelle 2021 page and like it, because that name will be changing here soon, and we will be the page will be retitled the Unapologetically Michelle Show. So I am so excited about the name change. All of this kind of went crazy mad over the weekend. Just to kind of kick you in, Charbria, I went to a Kingdom Business conference in South Carolina this weekend. And when I tell you, wow, it was magnificent. It was magnificent. It awesome. Gave you an opportunity for Christianity, for your belief and your business to go hand in hand, and teaching skills and all of that to make sure that people understand you don't have to keep the two separate. You can keep them together. And so in the midst of that, then I had the opportunity to hear from God, and he says, okay, it's time for you to step into who I've created you to be. And here we go. Unapologetically Michelle. That's awesome. That's how we ended up with the show. So I have said enough. I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to allow our guest to introduce herself to our listening and viewing audience.
Hello, everyone. I'm Charbria Shine. And so I am an actress, producer, singer, and songwriter. I'm a Christian, and right now I am getting ready to go on tour for my stage play, Single Woman Chronicles. Yeah, we're really excited about that, and I'm sure we're going to dig more into how it came about and all those things, but that's pretty much what I do. I'm an entertainer, and I love to empower, encourage, inspire, and just change people's lives through entertainment. And that's me, Charbria Shine.
I think it's so important that we give people the opportunity to begin to see exactly who you are and what it is that you have to offer. So let's jump right into it. Yes. So who is Charbria?
Yes, Charbria is a Christian woman who loves God, who is energetic, outgoing, ambitious, who loves the arts, always have, who loves business, always has. And through the years, actually, I have a theater background, dance background, singing background since I was a little kid. So I've always been in productions and just love to entertain. But also, I have a business background, a business degree. And so I've always loved business, and to be able to put the two together with my faith, oh my God, it's like heaven on earth. To be able to merge all of those three parts of me together is amazing. And I am a newlywed. So we have just been married for 3 years. Our anniversary was August. Yeah. So that is interesting and fun. And actually, a lot of what I do has a lot to do with my husband because we work together. And originally, I was single and so unsatisfied, y'all, in my life. In my 30s, still not satisfied. And so, because of that, I came up with a blog just talking about the struggles of a single woman. And then, so many women like was feeling it and felt the same way that I felt. Like sometimes you feel like you're by yourself, you're alone when you're in your misery, right? But somebody somewhere is going through the exact same thing that you are going through, and so that kind of emerged to a book, Single and Satisfied, The Single Woman's Guide to Fulfillment, and then a play. And again, I'm sure we're going to get deeper into that, but that's kind of just a little spiel on how I went from like the arts to business to back to business and entertainment.
So I want to jump right into something that you said, because a lot of women are unsatisfied and single.
Yes.
So when you say unsatisfied and single, what exactly do you mean?
Oh man, I was miserable. I was like, okay, God, when is it my turn? Like, I'm tired of being a bridesmaid. I'm tired of everybody booed up. It look like everybody living their best life on social media, which you can't go by social media, by the way. But anyways, I was just like, when is it my turn? And I found myself just so unsatisfied. No matter what was going on in my life, it wasn't enough. It was like, okay, I have my dream career. At the time, I was in fashion retail. Then I got my own store. And you would think I would be like, oh, yeah, I was happy with that. But I still was like, but I'm still single. I'm like, that was like my ultimate. And so I just hated the season. Like I just felt passed over, overlooked. I felt like I was getting older. And at the time, honestly, because I'm a church girl, at the church I was at, y'all, almost everybody was married. And everything was like marriage counseling sessions and marriage conferences, and let's do a marriage outing, which is amazing. I'm married now. It's so needed for sure. But those singles that were in that particular church was just like, okay, what about me? There's nothing for singles. So is something wrong with me? And I think sometimes we can feel that something is wrong with me because I'm still single in the church or out of the church, because society can tell you, girl, you better hurry up. Your clock is ticking. You're getting old. You ain't got no kids yet, girl. What's wrong with you? You ain't got no man. All these questions. When you going to settle down? And I feel like no matter where you are in your life, Christian or not, I feel like this can be a topic that women can struggle with. And I feel like it's so important just to realize that we're more than our relationship status, and that our joy, our fulfillment, our purpose does not come from a relationship with a man, right? With God and ourselves, absolutely, but not with a man. And so I had to just ask myself, are you going to really be miserable because you're single? Like, for real, for real. Because, like, you 30 plus and you still single. Is this the life you choose to live because you don't have a man in your life? Because it's a choice. I mean, yeah, the emotions come, they're real. We can acknowledge them, but we can choose to say, hey, I'm no damsel in distress. I don't need rescuing. I'm going to create a life that I don't feel like I need rescuing from. And when that man does come, he's going to see me living a life that's fabulous, that he almost has to say, well, dang, what can I add to this equation? Because she is doing it. And that became my goal. Like, first of all, to prove God, like, okay, God, you can fulfill me without a man in my life. God, you can fulfill me. You can bring me joy and peace. You can show me how to create a life that I'm thriving and I'm loving. And so I started a movement, Single and Satisfied movement, an online ministry for Christian women. And that was just to help other women find other women to do life with. Because I know that we want relationships. We weren't created to do life alone. So I'm like, okay, find other like-minded women to vacation with, hang out with, love on, just have that community. And I think that's so important. And that really did help me like during my single season. And just, being able to help others, share with others, ministry, volunteer, start book clubs, like all these things. I feel like there's so many things you could discover about yourself in your singleness. And truth be told, if I didn't have that long season, a lot of the amazing things that I'm doing now, I wouldn't be doing, because in that season I had time to think, to be creative, to pray, to be alone, to work on some of those projects that I'm working on now. And so I just said, okay, I'm no longer going to be unsatisfied. And girl, yeah, I have my moments. We're human, right? But I fought through them. I really did. I really fought through them. And I made sure that, I was thriving and busy about purpose and my goals and my dreams and God. And that really did help a lot.
Now, I hear you talk a lot about your relationship. When you were doing the single women's ministry, when you were
Mhm.
working with those single and satisfied women, what were some of the main complaints that you were hearing some of the women were sharing?
Mhm. A big one is like there's no good men left. I know we hear that a lot. Like the dating pool sucks, or I'm over this age. A man's not gonna want me. Those types of things. And actually, I heard a lot of, "Well, you cute, so yeah, it's easy for you." Blah blah blah. But you know what? The biggest thing that I love about being in the movement, because I'm married now, is that I have seen God bless all types of women, older women, women who had children, who thought they would never find a man, who found a man who didn't have children, who loved their children like they were their own, or women who felt like insecure, but that man adored them. So I feel like a lot of it, no good men left. We're not going to find a man like that, because for me, I really focused on living for God and living pure before God. And they're like, girl, at 30, you is not going to be the man who going to respect that. It ain't out there. And what I love about God is he defies all odds.
Mhm.
Like my husband was 39 when I met him, was a virgin when I met him, wasn't lame. Because, when we think about virgin, like, yeah, he couldn't get none. He was like, no, he's cute, attractive, was an athlete, had his own pro team. There was women wanting him, but he chose to choose God. And I'm not saying that's an easy route, because we know it ain't, but he chose God. And when we were dating or courting, he still chose to honor God and honor me, and I chose the same. And I wasn't a virgin, so I knew what I was missing out on. That could be harder when you know what you're missing out on. But I still chose God, and I feel like, he was the things that I had desired. A man who had never been married, a man who never had children. And again, there's nothing wrong with a man who has children or who has been married, but those were just like my personal desires. And I waited on it, and God delivered exactly what I desired. And I feel like the real truth is we don't really trust God. We feel like he's not going to come through for us. We feel like he's going to hold back on us. That's kind of how I felt at a time. Like, I got to do things my own way because God, you take it too long. And they right. It probably ain't no man out there like that who really love you and going to love me. But it is. But you really have to cultivate that personal relationship with Christ, whatever it is that your desires are, because everybody's desires are different. Maybe you don't care about marriage before or kids or being a virgin, all that stuff. Maybe don't even care, and that's fine. But whatever it is that you desire, God promises to give us the desires of our heart as we delight in him. And to be honest, as I got closer to him, I just started trusting him more. That, okay, God, you have me. So marriage is of you. Okay, you created marriage. So if you promise to give me the desires of my heart, and I want marriage, then in your season, you're gonna provide that for me. And again, it wasn't easy all the time. There was seasons where I was like, man, this ain't working. Jesus, is you really coming through? Time is ticking, like I'm in my mid-30s, what's going on? But I just feel like you really do have to also have that life going so that your every waking moment, is that him? Is that him? Is this my man? Because that will frustrate the heck out of you. You will be just so frustrated. And just to be able to be settled in your life. And so, yeah, I think the biggest thing was there's no good men left. Is a man like that gonna find me? And I'm trying to think of a bigger complaint. Oh, and the sex thing, that was a big complaint too. Like, what I'm supposed to do in between time, honey, because I got needs. Okay, I I I had a lot of that, like a lot of struggles. We talked a lot about purity, masturbation, porn, sex before marriage, soul ties. And that's real. We can't act like, people don't struggle with it. We can't act like we're not human. And I think sometimes when we're Christian, we want to act like, oh, we just so holy. We don't never had no thought of doing nothing. Yeah, okay. So it's
Yeah.
just like,
Okay.
I'm a real person. So yeah.
I think for a lot of women, we fail to realize that our worth is not based off of what the world has identified as our worth. Our worth
Yes.
is based off of who Christ said that we are. And
Yes.
for a lot of us, we have gotten caught up in the world system. And so this is the way it's supposed to be done.
Yes.
I'm single myself, but I've got a
Yeah.
friend that's married. And her husband, when I tell you he adores her, he adores her. He takes very good care of her. And it's one of those things whenever I talk to him, because I call him my brother-in-law, I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I need to find one just like you, brother-in-law. And he's like, well, don't give up. They out there. They out
They
there.
are.
But I
Yep.
think the word of God says that we should not get weary in well doing. And I think we get weary
We
because
do.
we're not seeing it in the amount of time that we think it should happen. But then
Yes.
if you go back to the word of God, like you said, he says a day to us or a day
Yes.
to God is like 1,000
1,000
years to us.
years.
And
Yes.
so we have to begin to show some patience and don't just wait, but work on yourself while you're waiting.
Yes. Yes.
One of my favorite stories in the Bible is about Ruth and Naomi
Yes.
and what she went through waiting on Boaz and how she listened to her mother-in-law and how she advised her on how to present herself and make herself seen so that
Yes.
he would see her. And I think a lot of times less is more. They don't always want to see less of you.
Yeah.
They want they don't always want to see more of you. They want to see
Hmm.
less of you. And
Yeah.
it's one of those things that I think sometimes we get caught up in because we don't give ourselves permission to allow him to woo us.
Yes.
We feel like we have to make ourselves available to him.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. I love that you say that because another thing is a lot of women would say like, "Oh, I got to be out there so he could find me. I got to do this. I got to do that." No, I wasn't doing none of that. Mm-mm. I wasn't even dating. I had stopped dating for a long time and just started doing me. And what I mean by doing me is kind of what you said, just cultivating me and being a better woman, healing, being whole, learning who I am, dating myself. And what I mean by dating myself is learning more of me, going
Mhm.
out with myself, seeing what do I really like? What do I dislike in a man? What did I learn from my past relationships? And I feel like it is so good because my husband said that the thing that he loved about me is that when he saw me, I was just busy about my life. He was like, you had a lot going on for yourself and you weren't thinking about a man. You were just doing you, living for God. Like I said, at the time I was doing a lot of ministry. I had just finished my book and just living and thriving. And I feel like the right man will see that. You don't have to be out. I wasn't out there nowhere. I was barely going out other than, like I said, doing things with those few friends. And I was really busy about my books, my different things. And he found me. And he lived 12 hours away from me, y'all. So it wasn't like, oh, he found me at the grocery store. He found me at church. Because me, I was old school. I'm like, my man gonna find me at church. I already know. Don't y'all play. No. Mm-mm. And I think we too have to be open minded to the creativity of God and how he can do it. Because my husband literally, y'all, saw me on a picture on Instagram with a mutual friend. Now, and me, I'd be like, that ain't God. I'd be like, that's not God. But God can do it in so many different ways. And I think we have to stop putting him in a box. And I've seen so many amazing stories of God bringing a husband or bringing a wife. And it was just such a unique story. Even age gaps where I've seen it like, wait, that's a big gap. And God bless somebody, just different scenarios where it's like, do you just have the faith to believe and not settle? Because in my impatience, I had tried to settle several times. And really what I just got tired of it, of the heartbreak, the disappointment. I got to the end of myself and I was like, okay, God, I surrender. And that's when I was finally like, I'm done with this. I give this part of my life to you, Lord. In your time, and it's going to happen. I am not forcing it. And if that means I'm not getting married, oh well, I'm going to enjoy my life and be the best woman that I can possibly be and just thrive and live for you. And when I finally got to that place, then here come my husband. I'm like, I don't even care about marriage now, Lord. But it was so beautiful. And kind of like what you said, he's so supportive and loving and has my back. And just, sometimes we hear in our culture, like, you ain't gonna find a man like that because you too much or you too ambitious, or, you hear you're too successful. Sometimes when women get up the ladder in their career, and it's like, trust God, do not settle for less than what you deserve, because there is a man even in your race, because sometimes we hear that is not in our race, and that is not true, that will support, love, and be there for you. And I'm a living witness. My husband is amazing. And I know God did that. I didn't do that because I kept picking the frogs.
Well, been there, done that.
Right, girl. You know about it.
Been
Yes.
there, done that. Pick the frog.
Hmm. Yes.
So let's jump over into the play because I came to the launch.
Yes.
So, what is this tour you're going on?
Yes, yes, and yes. We're excited. So we just had our first show last weekend. So much fun, amazing turnout. It was really cool to be able to see a lot of people from the launch and even new people. But now we are headed this Saturday to Indianapolis. So we'll be at Butler, the Strott Center for the Arts, and we'll be there at 7 p.m. our show. And right now we actually have a special promotion for 50% off tickets. So we're excited about that. I know, right? 50% off tickets. It was our Labor Day sale, but we extended it. And so all they have to do is go to swcthestageplay.com. That's swcthestageplay.com. And then on there, you just go to tickets and you choose the Indianapolis show. And then you're going to pick your seating chart. And on the same page as the seating chart, you have to click unlock box. And then you'll just put in code SWC P as in Paul and the number 50, all caps. So that's SWC P as in Paul and the number 50. So stands for Single Woman Chronicles Play 50. And so that's all you have to do. And I got a flyer. I got to represent Single Woman Chronicles. Yes. And so we're excited about that. We're also going to be in Fort Wayne September 24th. And the book, Single and Satisfied, also it's featured in the play. And one of my chapters, which is called The Journey of a Loveaholic, which kind of tells my love story and how I was addicted to love and kind of like my failures in relationships. A lot of that chapter is actually in the play. And so a lot of it is inspired by that. So we're excited about that. But yeah, we are coming to Indy. Yes.
So I'm putting up the ticker. So I want
Okay.
to make sure that everybody is able to see this. So it's going to be Saturday,
Yep. September 10th,
September 10th,
7 p.m.
and it's going to be at Butler.
The Schrott Center for the Arts. Let's see if they could see that. It's probably too small. Schrott Center for the Arts. Yeah, they're too small. There we go.
Go up just a little bit. No, up.
Here.
Okay.
Can you see?
Yep. Schrott. Okay.
Yes, Schrott Center for the Arts.
It used to be called Clues Hall.
Sure did. I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, it used to be
How
called,
long ago was that?
it's been a while because
I'd say a long time ago, right?
yeah, I'm an alumni. So it used to be
Cool.
Clues Hall, and I think somebody donated a large amount of money to the university, and this was how they honored that. So,
Wow.
as she said, now you guys look at it because right now tickets are normally $35. So at
Yeah.
50% off, that's
Mhm.
$17.50 for the 7 o'clock show on Saturday at Butler University at the Schrott Center for the Arts, which is right there at 46th and Boulevard. You'll see it when you're looking at the university. It'll be the building right there to your left. And it is an amazing place. And so
It's
you
nice,
will
yeah.
be able to go in. So make sure that you choose unlock the box, put in the code SWCP50 so that you'll get that 50% off for Saturday's show. So tell me now, I know that when you first did the stage play,
Mm-hmm.
that it was you and two other girls.
Yeah.
And so now you've got two new co-hosts or
Yes.
co-stars. And so tell us about the stars that you've got that are in the play with you.
Oh my gosh, they are amazing women. So just to tell you a little bit about the play, and then I can tell you about their characters. It revolves around a girl, Kara Kensington, who she is obsessed with love and marriage, pretty much to her detriment. Okay, and so she is about to turn 30, and it's like, okay, hurry up, my clock is ticking. I need to be married, right? So pretty much what you're gonna see, they're the three different personalities. They're all best friends. The Kara Kensington is the goody goody church girl, just wants her Boaz. But then you have her best friend, Mercedes Bure, who's the rich, bougie friend who's like, I'm no damn twin stress. I can have any man I want whenever I want. So she is off the charts, okay? And you're going to see her philosophy with men change throughout the show. She pretty much just feels like, I don't need them, but I can have them when I want and use them when I please. And then you have the ghetto fabulous Tatiana Jenkins, the other best friend, who's like, I'm almost 40. I need to be married, and Kara is not going to beat me to the altar. So it's kind of like a friendship jealousy right there. And so in this play, you're really going to see them evolve. You're going to see their faith, identity, self-worth all put on the line because of their relationship or lack of relationship with a man. And I love just to see there's a lot of changes in their personality, in their characters as the show goes on, and you'll see those changes. And I feel like it's something for everyone. So we had married couples there who came, we had guys who came, we had single girls who came, and we've gotten great reviews from all, which I was pleasantly surprised, especially from the guys. But they're just life lessons in it. It's comedy in there, a lot of laughter. You know, we have to put the comedy. But then there are also real life, real talk in this play. What women, what we go through. And even if you're married, what we go through, you'll see yourself in one of the characters because it's just so many things going on. And the thing about it is real talk monologues, a whole bunch of fun tunes, so you're gonna get some music, some fun stuff. And we just put it together in a nice package to really just challenge the stigmas associated with being a woman and being a single woman. And so these two new co-stars are amazing women. They bring energy, they bring sass, they bring even class to this show, and I just love it. Like you said, we did it last year, and this year just elevated to another level. It's so amazing. Even the guy characters that we have is super hilarious. We have one guy playing two different roles, which is pretty cool. They're like polar opposites, and then you'll see one guy who's a smooth operator in the show. So it's a lot of different characters in there, and we have nosy Lindsay Tony, our hostess, who's the hostess at our favorite diner that we always go to, and she's cracking jokes throughout the whole show. So it's a blast to do this show with this cast. I'm so excited to do this tour with these particular people. I love them and they're amazing. So everybody who sees it, I'm not just saying it because I wrote it. People have been saying it that they're in for a treat, and I'm just elated that people would think that about something that I wrote. And it's such a blessing. So
I think that a lot of times we don't see the humor sometimes in relationships when we're right in
yeah,
the midst of it. But when
yeah,
we can take a step back and look at it from a different perspective, then we get the opportunity to be able to see the humor in it.
yes,
Because like you, at one point in time in my life, I was in love with love. It wasn't
yes,
really about the relationship, it was being
yes,
in love with love.
yeah,
And it wasn't until I came to that realization that I began to do my own self work. So that's very, very important.
yes.
So let's talk about the boo thing.
Yeah, let's talk about him.
So
What
how
would you
did
like to
you
know?
you said that he saw you on social media in a picture with
Yeah.
a friend.
Hmm.
So how did the meetup happen? And when you are on track, now I know for myself, when you're on track for doing the things that make you happy and doing the assignments that God is giving you to do, you're kind of have a tunnel vision. So how did you even
Yes.
see him when
Yeah.
he was trying to show you his interest?
Yeah, so originally I didn't. As I said, he inquired. I'll call him our work BFF. We were really close. He inquired about me from her and just kind of said, "Hey, is she single and is she saved?" That was the first thing he asked, and she said yes and yes. And it's so funny because I was very focused. I was not thinking about a man at this time, but she came to me and she was like, "Okay, Shar." She called me Shar. "I know you're really focused. And you're real picky. All my other friends try to talk to you, and I never tell you because I know that's not what you want." She's like, "But this one, I never thought about him for you. We used to do ministry together. He loves God." And she was like, "And he inquired about you. And I think, this might be a good match for you." And I'm like, "Are you sure?" Because like you said, I'm not even on that. And I'm like, she's like, "But, he lives, long distance. So I had to tell you that you may not, be interested in that." And I was like, "So where does he live?" And at the time I was in Indiana and she was like, "Ohio, that's where I used to live, Ohio." And I'm like, "How far is that?" She's like 4 hours. And I'm like, "Okay, whatever. Sure. You could, tell him he can call me or whatever." And so, cause in my mind, I'm like, long distance, this ain't gonna work anyway. I'll talk to him one time. This is what I'm thinking. I'm like, whatever. I'll talk to him one time. So he asked her permission to DM me on Instagram, which I thought was so cute because I was a public figure. I have my podcast and everything. I'm like, you could easily DM me. My page is not private, but I thought it was so sweet, for him to ask permission. And so we said yes. So he was DMing me. He waited a few days. He did, and then he started DMing me. We were on and on and on, and I don't like all that texting. So I told him, I was like, "Look, how about you just call me?" So he finally called me. In our first conversation, we talked for like 4 or 5 hours, and I'm not even a phone talker. And I'm gonna be real with you. From that conversation, I was like, okay, he's real. Like you have discernment, and when you've dealt with a lot of different guys and you spent time with God, you can tell when somebody is real. And just our conversation, you could tell we were on the same page with a lot of things. And so on this call at the end, I found out this man lives 12 hours away. I was like, oh Jesus. Will, Jesus, no, this ain't gonna work. 4 hours, maybe 12. No. But by that time, I ain't gonna even lie, I was interested. I'm like, okay, let's just see where this goes. So, a lot of FaceTime and a lot of talking and stuff like that. But then I think he was a college basketball coach at the time, and he was about to have a break. And so he had told me originally, now that I know, he was like, "I didn't want to do long distance. I needed to know if this was real." So he drove 12 hours to meet me. And that's when I kind of knew he was serious because he just drove. We met, and for me, because there was always so much pressure and expectation on like first dates, I'm gonna be real with you. I wanted it to be like two teenagers just meeting, no pressure. It may not work out. That's cool, whatever. I just, And so it was like that. We literally did carefree things. Normally, we think of like the wine and dine, dress up, take me out, do all this fancy stuff, and that's me. I like the fancy stuff, but I wanted to dummy it down to just seeing who are you.
Mhm.
And that's kind of what we did, just simple things like walking and talking and eating out and going to an arcade, like simple stuff that you'd be like, okay, you don't do that till but no, it was like just simple things. And I really, by the time he left, because he ended up staying kind of in Chicago area and I was in Indiana for a whole week, every day we saw each other. By the time he left, I was like, yes. In my mind, I was like, yes, this is real. And he said the same thing. And it was miraculous because, first of all, being long distance, that's tough. To trust somebody at home is enough, let alone long distance. You know what I mean? And I had to really trust the Lord with that. But it was such a supernatural thing. We actually started marriage counseling before he proposed, because we said we did, we wanted to make sure that if he did propose, that we had already went through that and we had already kind of saw some of the warning signs or whatever we might need to see. So he proposed to me 7 months, and he wanted to do a 6 months, but we hadn't seen each other. 7 months after knowing each other, and we got married within a year of knowing each other. Now that was God, because when I tell you, ain't nobody doing that. I was old enough to be like, that's too soon. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
Mhm.
don't know enough about this man. But when I tell you that when God does something, y'all, it could be so different. Like, you could be 40, you could be 39 and be like, man, I ain't gonna be married to 45, because I first of all, I'm about to be 40 next week and I gotta meet somebody, I gotta date them, I gotta vet them, and God be like, girl, be quiet. He coming next week and y'all gonna be married in a month. You be like, no. Seriously. And I would have, if you would have told me that we would have got married that fast, I'd be like, no, that's stupid, girl. I ain't gonna marry no man that fat. But when God do a thing, it is what it is. And I do not regret this decision. Like, I love him. He's amazing. He's supportive. He loves God. He puts me first. And again, nobody's perfect. We know that. I'm not perfect. Marriage can be, work and pretty much, dying to yourself. And what I mean by that is not losing yourself, but pretty much just surrendering all to God and actually just being less selfish. That's really what it is. Because we can be selfish. We try to act like we're not, but as humans, we can a lot of times, and just learning how to prefer the other person. And that can be a challenge. I was single for all my life. You know what I'm saying? I was in my 30s, used to being alone, used to doing life my way, used to everything being how I wanted. And it didn't help that I was the baby of the family. Bam. So it's like a little spoiled, you can be a little selfish and you don't realize it till you get married and you're like, ooh, I gotta work on me. That's why I say in your single season, enjoy your single season, because you could just do you and focus on you and God, and that's beautiful. And it's nothing wrong with that. And then when you get married, it's a different season. Neither season, in my opinion, is more beautiful than the next, but I think they both there are challenges, but they both have their own beauties. And I tell women all the time, girl, enjoy your singleness. Girl, you ain't got to worry about, cooking. I mean, you probably should do that for yourself, but I spoiled myself. I was eating out all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
just do it. Come on now, right? I mean, I was just when I want to do my hair, when I wanted to look a mess at home, now you got a husband. It's like, okay, you can look a mess a few days, which I do, but it's like you can't look a mess every day. You do got a
Right.
husband, right? So it's just like such a beautiful season. But I'm going to be honest, I'm so grateful that I had my time alone. I am so grateful that, like, I don't feel like now, like, dang, I'm married. It's all this pressure. I gotta, learn this man. I did me. I was single. I learned how to love me. And actually, I learned my weaknesses, which I think is so good for us to be real with ourselves. What am I not really good at? What are my issues that I need to work through and work on? So then when that man does come, I'm not running him away, because we can do that as well. We can ruin a great thing. And so, yeah, that's pretty much our love story. And the only thing, it was kind of stressful when we were planning a wedding, because he proposed and then we were like, so we're going to wait to get married next year. And it was like, no, let's get married in 4 months. I was saying, well, maybe we could wait, but long distance, it was tough. We like, nah. We were seeing each other probably once a month. Then it got to like once every 2 months. We are like, nah. So we planned a wedding from afar. We were flying back and forth. Woo, child. But it was fun, but it was stressful. You know how brides be. It was stressful.
Yep.
But it was such a beautiful wedding, and I know God did it, because I can be an obsessive planner, and I had to plan a big wedding in 3 months, and that was hard. That was the hardest thing that I've ever had to do in my life. Shoot, that was harder than being single for all them years. So I'm joking, but it was tough. And so, but it was such a beautiful wedding, and I love when God loves when He writes your love story. We can try, but when God does it, it's beautiful. And my advice would be to women who are waiting, don't settle. It's gonna be hard, but anything worth having can be tough at times, whether that's a marriage, a business, raising a child. I think anything worth it is going to be hard work. And even this tour, it has been tough. But the result, to see people laughing in the audience, crying in the audience, saying, oh my God, this touched me so much after, nothing can replace that, because my heart is to empower people, empower women specifically. And to be able to see women saying, man, this helped me heal, it's worth it. It's worth it for
That
me.
is awesome. I am so excited. I can't wait to see the play.
Yeah.
I will definitely be on scene to be able to see
Yes.
the
Come
play
on.
on Saturday. Um, I'm going to be telling everybody, which I have been, about the play. And now
Awesome.
that it's
Awesome.
50% off, they don't have no excuse.
No excuse.
Come on, show on up. Uh,
Come on.
so for that young lady, or for that 30-plus-year-old
Yeah.
individual who has not yet found their love, that man has not found them. Let me change that, because
Yeah.
it's the other way around. When that man
Right.
has
Right.
not found them, what advice do you have with them? They say, oh, I've been working on myself, I've been working on my relationship with Christ, I'm able to see where some of my faults are, but I'm
Yeah.
still struggling, this is still hard.
Yeah.
And every time I get ready to try to talk to somebody about it, then I'm told, well, girl, just go on and get you some, just go on and do what you got to do. And
Yeah.
but they want to stay honorable to God, and allow him to write their love story. What advice would you have for
Yeah.
them?
I would definitely say get around like-minded individuals, because yeah, if you're around people that's telling you to get you some, and it's a lot, and you're hearing that a lot in your ear, you're probably going to fall into that temptation. What I tell, especially if it's just about sex, I tell people, you don't crave what you don't feed yourself. So starve yourself of it. And so when I was single, I had to cut out certain music, certain artists, because I'm feeling sexy or like I want to give me some. I'm cutting out certain movies or fast forwarding past sex scenes. I had an accountability partner that was huge, who was a like-minded individual. Then when I felt like I wanted to go get me some, because again, as I said, I wasn't no virgin, or I wanted to go out with this dude and do this, do that. Look, hey, I'm going out. Make sure I'm at home. Call me, girl. Like those types of things. But also continue. You know how we always hear, when you don't know what else to do, stand, like that. That may sound cliche, but that is the truth. And that ain't always the easiest thing to say. I wish I could say, y'all, and once I was single and satisfied, I was always happy. And no, there were some nights where I had to cry myself to sleep. There were some nights when I had to call my accountability partner because I was struggling so bad. It is not always a pretty picture. Most of the time, it's not. People see now, oh, you got this amazing husband, you so bubbly, but y'all didn't see me when I was in my prayer closet crying, when I was in there snotting, asking God to strengthen me, to help me, to hold me, to keep me, or when I fell, hello, and made mistakes and was like, God, forgive me, help me, because it's real life. It is a fight. It's going to be a fight. It is a fight, but a fight of faith, and God can help you to stand. The thing is, don't worry if you make mistakes. Get back up, continue, trust God. He loves you, and He's not counting that against you. That's the great thing about God. He will still say, okay, daughter, but you're trying, and I see your faith in me. You struggling, you made a mistake, but I see your faith in me. You just got to get up and keep going, get up and keep going, get up. That's what I did. I wasn't perfect, girl. No, not at all. But I got up and kept saying, God, I want to please you. God, I want to wait on you. God, I know you have a man for me. It was an ugly fight. But God always causes us to triumph. That's his word. He cannot lie. He will not forsake us. He won't leave us. He will always be the lifter of our head, so we don't have to be ashamed. Because there was times I was ashamed, straight up ashamed. I was engaged once and that failed and blew up in my face. And there's a whole story about it in my book. But God will always cause you to triumph. You will never be ashamed waiting on God. So it may seem like you always get the bad end of the stick. You always the bridesmaid. Everybody advancing. Everybody not advancing. First of all, one thing that I think we make a mistake is comparing ourselves to other people. And that's such a bad thing to do. It destroys our confidence and our faith in God, because the thing about it, I always say, you don't know what's really going on behind the pictures on all this social media stuff. A lot of people faking it anyway. Let's just be real. You see the high, even let's talk about me, somebody who is happily married, but what you see is highlight reels. You don't see the times when people are struggling or going through something or having to pray through. You just see, oh, oh, that's so cute. But what is it taking to have a healthy marriage? What did it take for her to get that man? What did it take him to keep that man? You don't know. So we have to stop comparing ourselves. We have to look to God as an example, not to people. And that's what I did. I stopped looking at everybody on social media when I was single. I had to block that out. And if you got to get off for a season, get off, honey, because it ain't if it's putting negativity and doubt and discouragement in your spirit, you have to get off of it. And so I would just say, keep standing in God. Find things that you enjoy that are clean things. Find things that you actually enjoy to do. Y'all, I did that. And maybe I did it too much, but I'm like, I'm single. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy life. And I'm going to have friends and build relationships. I'm going to go after my goals and dreams. And I think that's why now people look and they're like, somebody asked me and my husband, how did y'all build this production company? Y'all only been married for 3 years. Well, for me, this has been in the making through those single years. God birthed this spiritual baby in me when I was single, and my husband helped me bring it to fruition. Because when I tell you, when I met him, it's like it popped. Like, hello, he helped me bring it out to fruition, and that's what you want. You want a godly partner who is purposed for you, purpose filled, where you know how they say power couples. That's what you want. Spiritual power, that you are anointed together. You can feel it. You are better together. You want to be power packed alone, but then when y'all get together, it's explosive. And that's what we're experiencing. That's what you want. And that's what you get when you wait on God. You don't get a man who's jealous of you because you're ambitious or putting you down because you want to do this and do that. You get a man who, not perfect, but he's like, okay, let's make this happen. Okay, how do we do this? We're going to go to the Lord. Let's pray about this. That's what you want. Nobody's perfect, but you want somebody who loves God more than you, because if he loves God more than you, he's going to hear the voice of God, and God has your best interest always in his heart. And so I would just say, do not settle. It gets tough. It gets lonely, but it is so much better at the end when you say, I don't care if you're 50 years old, God's going to do it for you if you wait on him. And I know women who are 60, 50, 40, who God has done it for. And I love these testimonies who are like, man, I couldn't have picked this man if I did it myself, because you didn't do it yourself. God did it. Okay. So it's just like, wait on him. Age is nothing but a number. When it comes to God, I think we have to realize that God pretty much likes to do stuff when we can't do it anymore. I mean, if we know the word of God, you kind of start realizing, okay, Abraham and Sarah, he waited till they was too old. He wants to get the glory. If I'm 25 and looking good and got it all together, it's like, what? That ain't no miracle. Okay, a man wanted you. Okay, whoop-de-doo, But if it's like, man, I was 30, I felt like I couldn't even have kids, and God sends them, or I was 40 and God sends them, and you can have your family. And that's another thing. Our clock is ticking. We always worry about that. Women who don't have children. I've seen God bless women who've just gotten married at 40 with children. Stop worrying about your clock. God made your clock, so he knows what to do with it. And so I am faith filled, as you see. I'm a little radical with it, but for me, he's done so much in my life. There's only one way to be. He's done miracle after miracle after miracle. Stuff that people was like, girl, you believe for that? You too much. God can't do that. He has shown himself faithful in my life so many times that it is no reason for me not to believe it. So I don't worry about that kind of stuff. So it's a process though, but I would say trust God. Don't listen to negative people. Get around like-minded individuals, because that will help you. When I felt down and called my accountability partner, she's like, "Oh, sis, get it together. You don't have your butt over there. Somebody who raw and real, who will put you in your place." So I just encourage that lady, don't, or that single woman, don't give up. Trust God. It is tough at times, but it is so worth the wait.
Wow, so that's some great advice, and even the sharing of your testimony and allowing people to realize and recognize that it's not pretty.
No,
It's not pretty, but if
no,
you wait, then you
it's
give
worth it.
God the opportunity to use his pen to be able to write your love story, and you'll be able to live it out. So
Yeah.
once again, tell us about what's going on Saturday, September
Yes,
10th.
yes, yes. Woo! Single Woman Chronicles. Okay, y'all see it? Okay. September 10th is going to be at Butler Strott Center for the Arts. And right now it is going to be at 7 p.m. And we are having 50% off tickets, y'all. We extended that Labor Day sale, so you don't want to miss it. It's such a great sale. All you have to do is use code SWCP 50. Click unlock the box on the seating chart page. I think she has it there, and you'd get 50% off. So y'all don't want to miss it. This show is just fun. It is comedy in it. There's tear-jerking, real talk monologues that just pretty much challenge the stigmas that women go through, and I love it. I love to be able to be in it. It's just a blessing to me as well, and I believe it'll be a blessing to you if you come out. So support us, tell somebody about it, share, 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 and yeah, we'll see you Saturday. Oh, we're gonna have a pink carpet out. So she saw the pink carpet at the launch party. So we are gonna have our pink carpet out. So come out looking cute. We would love to get pictures with you guys as well after the show.
That is awesome. So you're going to have an after the show interaction with your guests?
Yes, of course. After the show, the cast, we're going to come out. We're going to take pictures. Absolutely. If they want to take video, we're going to have a book signing. We're just going to have a great time. We're going to have product. We're going to have vendors for the shopping experience. Absolutely. After the show. Yep.
Okay. Well, Charbria, it has been a pleasure talking with you.
You too.
I love your energy. I
Thank you.
love your realness because that's what it's about. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people get it twisted. They think that just because we are saved and that we do our best to live according to God's dictates, that we don't have fun and that we're not real.
Right.
And
Right.
so I'm encouraging everyone to go out and to check out the play on Saturday, September 10th, on Butler University's campus at the Schrott Center for the Arts at 7 p.m. Now, you'll see it scrolling across the bottom of the screen. It's 50% off of the tickets. So you need to go to swcthestageplay.com, choose unlock the box, and then put in the code SWCP50, and you'll be able to get that ticket for half price. Now, make sure that you show up. So I'm going to put all my people on blast. Make sure you show up because this is a young Black woman who has come to give us real life experience, to be able to share her journey of singleness with us. And let's go out and support her. Let's go out. Let's show her that we appreciate her as she's on this Midwest tour with her stage play. And I want us to really begin to look at the message that it sends out to us. She's giving us something that, and here you go. You want to have a date night, that special someone, this is your opportunity to have that date night. It's a safe date night because you'll be around a whole bunch of other people. So you don't have to worry about the rest of it. Get your girls together. Come on out and check out the play. Fellas,
Yes.
there's even something in there for you. Get the boys, come out. You never know. Your good thing may be
Might
in
be
the
in the
audience.
audience, right?
Your good thing might be in the audience, and you never know that favor you've been looking from God for. She may be the key that unlocks that favor that God has promised.
Yes.
So, Charbria, thank you so very much for coming on. Thank you for being the first show of our new season with our new name, Unapologetically Michelle. And I am looking forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Yes.
And to see this great play and to see all of the great things that God has in store for you.
Thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate it. So, everybody, this is your girl, Michelle. And here, what we do is we celebrate the beautiful, the gorgeous, the fabulous, and the talented. So be sure to tune in again next week, and we'll have another great show for you. So we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.